Sarsaparilla, it's your girl Sassy J, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back, guys, this time for another Love Island review. But before I get into the video, I'm just going to ask you guys to give the video a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please like and subscribe. Also, shout out to all the new subscribers. I see y'all. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate you. Guys, first of all, I just want to apologize for the sniffles to come because I'm sniffling and everything. But anyways, so guys, shocking twist, right? Lauren was dumped. Now, I'm not gonna say the fact that somebody got dumped was shocking to me, but I think that situation shocked me a little bit, if that makes any sense. So I've been saying in my review last night, and even in the comments, saying that I want this new Bombshell to come in and I want her to have to choose somebody, but I'm thinking it's going to be in 24 hours, you know, like kind of what Tony had, 24 hours to make a decision, whatever. Shakira, I think it was, when Tony took her man. So I was just like, okay. So I was hoping that this new person was going to be into Cash, and then Emma would be dumped. That's what I was hoping for. However, I was right about some things, because, you know, obviously she had to choose, or well, they had to put together her top 3 boys, and they had chosen the singletons, basically. So they chose Ty, because obviously Ty and Lauren is very like recent. They chose Cash and they chose Boris, and obviously Angel or Angelique walked in. Fine little Angelique, yes. I'm not really a fan of the pants, to be honest. It was a bit over the top to answer her question. It was. But at the end of the day, if you're going to enter the villa, you might as well enter with a bang, right? Right. So basically, she came in and she said, well, you guys were close. I don't necessarily think it was close, because only one was literally correct. So her top boy was Ty. Number 2 was Harry. I'm so thankful that number 2 was Harry. And number 3 was Connor, right? Unfortunately, Ty being the number 1 boy, or the top boy, means that Ty and Angel would become a couple, and therefore Lauren became single and surprisingly got dumped immediately. Now, I didn't want Lauren to go. I'm gonna be completely honest. I didn't want Lauren to go. Lauren, yes, she let herself down a few times, and you know, even when she was going, she spoke to what's his name, Harrison, and begged him to leave. Now, I think she probably would have not asked him to leave if he didn't say, I'm going. I think maybe that kind of, even though she wanted to, I don't think she would have necessarily made the ask. I do think it's a big ask, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't think anyone should ask anybody to leave with them. I feel like that decision needs to be that person and off their own backs, right? Because if I was in there and the person I was coupled up with, or the person I was interested in, was dumped, then I would want to make that decision myself, because at the end of the day, I would have to assess a lot of things. Would he have left for me? Sorry. Am I ready to leave? Do you know what I'm saying? You know, because realistically, he could wait for me outside, and if that's the case, that's the case, right? But then again, you could also argue and say, well, if you think you found what you are looking for, then why are you staying in, right? So obviously he was saying like it was a big ask, and you know, he spoke to the boys and they were like, at least sleep on it. So he explained to Lauren that, listen, like, I want to sleep on it, and you know, he's making promises to her, like, you know, you won't have to wait for me the 3 weeks and stuff like that. You know, she asked him a few times, to be honest, and he made some promises, and she said she would wait for him. Now, the fact that she said she would wait for him, I kind of thought maybe he would stay. Here's my thoughts on it, my little 2 pennies. I do feel like he didn't necessarily want to go, but there's some pressure on him to act, right? I feel like because the girls were saying, you know, do the right thing, da-da-da, and because he's flip-flopped so many times, you know, to know that he flipped to Lauren last night, and now she's gone, you know, there's no, well, there would have probably been a chance of Tony eventually, to be fair with you, because she would have given in regardless. But I feel like there was some pressure on him to kind of stand on business in that situation, if that makes any sense. So he kept putting it off, and he said he was gonna wait and see how it felt. And in the night, he decided he was gonna go. Do you know what? I think him leaving and him making that apology to Tony was probably two of the biggest things that he's done. The two of the best things he's done since he's been in the villa. Because I do think, even though I will miss seeing Harrison, because here's the thing, Harrison he's a confused boy, but I actually do like Harrison, ironically, right? I do like him. I do like Harry as well, but I think for him, he just, you know, well, he was right on certain things. I do think that he said things to not hurt people's feelings, because in the beginning that's what he was doing with Tone, but that kind of threw me off when he got back into the villa and was still trying to get back with Tony. That didn't make no sense to me, right? But at the end of the day, right, he's gone. And I think he did the best thing, because if he's truly wanted to make Lauren his girlfriend, after what he did to her, literally dumping her basically after he slept with her and going for Tony, I think that he needed to do something big. He needed to do a big gesture to prove that he was sincere and he was ready to commit. And I think for her, that would be the big gesture. So I think if he's really serious, then he's done the right thing. I did think it was good that he apologized to Tony once again. I felt like they needed to have that last chat. And I know Tony, for the whole time, she was saying, like, why don't he leave then? Why don't he go with her? Tony did not mean that again. Because guess what? Seeing Harrison leave, that kills Tony. That is killing Tony. Why? Because he didn't choose her. He's leaving for Lauren. He's throwing away his experience. He's walking away from that 25K. He's walking away from her. He is choosing Lauren. That is what's gonna kill. I'm telling you. That's why she was crying, and that's why she said, I felt so stupid, and I keep forgiving you over and over, and I keep giving you chances over and over. And she would have given him another chance had he stayed and he wanted to. She would have. But unfortunately, you know, it didn't work out like that. And I know she kept saying it, oh, I want him to go, he should go. She never wanted him to go. She never wanted. That's like a coping mechanism for her. Tony doesn't want to come across as the sad, vulnerable, emotional person. But the thing is, sometimes when we try to be strong and we try to be bold all the time, sometimes we break. And when we break and we're trying to pretend like we're not breaking, sometimes that make the breakage show even more. It's like you highlight it. And I think Tony's in that place where now you're seeing the broken pieces, you're seeing the vulnerability, you're seeing, you know, you're seeing the cracks, and she can't control it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, she's a human being at the same time. Regardless of whether or not you want to be strong and be tough and do all that kind of stuff, we are still human beings. So I know that is devastating for her, because he's chosen Lauren. This is a big deal for him to leave, and he's chosen Lauren. So I know Lauren's going to be happy about that. Whether Lauren's family is going to be happy about that, I have no idea, because realistically, you know, what Lauren went through with what he did, you know, and I understand that he went back after a day or two, but at the same time, you know, you slept with that girl twice and then you decided to do something stupid. Do you know what I'm saying? But she's forgiven him, so at the end of the day, why are we holding on to it? We're not going to hold on to it. Anyways, the last question from last night's game that went over to tonight is the couple that gives them the most ick, or the ickiest couple. And I've actually written that down, because honestly I would have not even remember. So the third person, right, that was voted as the icky couple was Tony and Harrison. No surprise there. Number 2 was Helen and Harry, and number 1 was Meg and Dee. Now the three friends, they've literally taken home many of these trophies in these situations. But Harrison thinks the reason why he's chosen is obviously because of how he's been behaving, and honestly, quite rightly so. And Tony was right as well. He's been behaving, treating her like shit. He's been misbehaving, treating her like shit, and she's been accepting it. So therefore, we get the ick, right? For Helena and Harrison thinks it's his Speedos. And I'm not gonna lie, at first, when I first saw them Speedos, I was getting the ick. with those Speedos. That was the red one. I think that when he first wore it. But now I'm used to those Speedos. I'm not gonna lie. I saw him in it last night and I was like, oh my god, Harry and his little Speedos. But you know what? I think I just gotten used to it now. I can't believe I'm actually used to Harry and his Speedos. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm used to it now. I don't think it's just the Speedos, but I think the Speedos could really contribute to it because they are very icky, those Speedos. I'm not gonna lie. But they could contribute to it. But also what could contribute to it is the fact that Harry, he just needs to sit down and calm himself because he keeps going back and forth. And even this situation where he's flirting with Angel, and he's gonna ask Helena, you know, can I flirt with her? I understand that they're open and he wants to be open and honest as what he's trying to say, but at the same time it gets to a point where, you know, you guys don't need any more tests. You don't need any more tests. And for me, at this stage, he should not even want to be entertaining somebody else. Like, Helena has been there. She's stuck with you. Like, I think have some respect. He's laughing and talking to the boy saying, you know, respectfully, I'm going to get to know her. Respectfully, I'm going to get to, I'm going to stare at her. Respectfully, I'm going to flirt with her. Respectfully, I'm going to kiss her. Well, all I wanted to say, well, Harry, respectfully, go and F yourself. How about that? Do you know what I'm saying? It's just like, come on, like, when are you going to draw the line? I know you're open, but he's saying, oh, you know, maybe this is going to be a final test before we become exclusive. And we hear him asking Helena if she wants to become exclusive. But why would she then want to become exclusive when you're just saying that you wanted to get to know somebody? That means you're still open. When you're exclusive or when you want to be exclusive, you should be at the point where you're like, you know what? Nobody's in here for me. Do you know what I'm saying? Nobody else is in here for me apart from you. So I want to be exclusive, not because you think that I want to be exclusive. This is what people don't get. Like, I don't want you to do it because I want you to do it. I want you to do it because you are ready and you want to do this. Why? Because you want to be exclusive with me. You want to commit to me, not because I want you to commit to me. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, but Dijon was like, no, I'm closed off. You know, wise of him, but at the same time, you know, he has no other choice because he is closed off. And, you know, he's getting close to that 25k or 50k, I don't know which one. Well, I think it's 50k, isn't it? And then they split it half. But yes, but yeah, guys, I just feel like Harry needs to sort himself out right now. Do you know what I mean? Low-key, I think, I want to say I'm proud of Harrison because I feel like, even though I feel like he made this decision because of pressure, at the same time, I feel like it was a good decision that he made ultimately. I mean, I don't know if I would have made the decision to go because, like I said, it would have been my journey, and I feel like we all should have our own journey. And not because your journey ended doesn't mean that I should leave. But at the same time, I know me and I know myself, because if I had met somebody in there that I fallen for and I wanted to be with, and I felt like that person was worth it, and there was nobody else coming in that villa that would make me want to be with them and not with this person, I know for a fact that I would have probably gone, because I know what I'm like when I actually love somebody or when I care about somebody and when I want to be with somebody. I will devote myself to that person, you know. So I completely would have gone. Even though you hear me chatting shit, I would have probably gone. I probably would have gone. But anyways, guys, so a few notes that I've made, right, because I had to because I was just like, you know, I don't know, today my mind is like all over the place. So the whole Shakira crying tantrum and all that kind of stuff, I just feel like it was a bit too dramatic for me. I feel like Shakira acted like the little princess that she is, a little bit spoiled. And I know you guys are gonna disagree with me, but hear me out. And I actually really like Shakira, because I think when I make comments, people think I don't like Shakira. I actually really like Shakira, but at the same time, I'm trying to understand what's happening in this little conversation here, because when the comment was said by Harrison last night, Shakira agreed to it, that it did happen, right? And she had explained the comment, right? And said, well, you know, obviously it makes sense because I spent a lot of time with Harry, more than I did with Connor, right? Which is what, do you know what I mean? But then she spoke to Connor, and then she's saying to Connor that Connor is taking the boys' side and believing them, and they're lying. But they're not lying though, because you're saying the same thing that they said. Like, I don't get it. You're saying the same exact thing that they said. Because they're basically saying that you're with Connor because obviously you like Connor more than you like Ty. However, you liked, what is his name more? Harry. You had more feelings for Harry. So it's the same exact thing. So I don't know why the crocodile tears. I don't know why she was angry or crying and saying that, you know, they're trying to destroy her happiness or they're lying on her and all these kind of stuff. You just agreed to it last night. You said, and you explained it. It's the same exact thing. I'm completely lost. And Tony's saying to the boys, like, you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, it's her and it's upset her. But it's the same thing, and I'm not being funny. Like, everybody voiced their opinions. Everybody voiced their opinions on why they gave their answer, why they choose who they chose last night on those podiums. Why is it that Harrison is now giving a solid reason? Because in my eyes, I think that's quite solid, right, for him to give that. I think it made sense. And then she explained it, and even went as far as to say to Connor, like, I understand now that he's explained it. Now that she's explained it, sorry. And it makes more sense now. But Shakira is saying that she never said that, but she's repeating what she said to Connor, which is the same exact thing. But then she's saying that the boys are trying to get into Connor's ears and all this. I was just a bit confused about that. I really was. And then she was upset with Connor because she said that Connor was taking their side. But then again, it's not that he's taking their side to believe, but you know, you guys are saying the same thing. So if he's gonna believe you, then he should believe them, because what you're saying is what they're saying. So I don't get it. Am I the only one? I don't know. I don't get it. Do you know what I'm saying? If her point was that she didn't like how Harrison dealt with the situation, because she did mention that, then I get it. I completely get it. But she's also stressing on the fact that they were lying, but they weren't, and she confirmed that. So I don't understand it. And then obviously Connor is saying, like, you know, he feels a bit uncomfortable with the situation. Like, it's almost like he doesn't feel like he can talk to the boys, which I think is so stupid, because realistically, like, they have nothing to gain. And that's why he said to her, they have nothing to gain. And I understand maybe he could have worked on a separate approach, a different approach about the whole situation with her, and try to hear her side of it as well, the same way he went to the boys. But at the same time, you know, that's an issue with you and Connor. I don't think the boys did anything wrong in that situation. Do you know what I'm saying? And what I don't like is when people take the fact that, yeah, Harrison and Harry do a lot of shit in the villa, and Dijon sometimes, but at the end of the day, it does not mean that does not mean that they lie about everything. And there was no lie in that situation, because she admitted to it when they first said it, and she repeated to them, to Connor, and confirm it again. So it makes no sense. But anyways, I just thought that she was acting a little bit spoiled there and throwing her dummy at the prom. But I know a lot of people is going to probably say, no, Sassy. But at the end of the day, I said what I said, and I'm saying it with my chest, okay? Yes, and so. Okay, but anyways, let me see what else I made. Oh, guys. Emma She. So she decides she's going to pull Harry for a chat, right? She's just embarrassing herself at this point. And she's going to pull Harry for a chat, and she's going to be like, I just feel like, you know, you're not defending me. And the way that you make Dijon and Harrison talk to me, you know, I think it's just bad that you've, like, allowed your friends to... You guys are not in a relationship, sis. Wake up and smell the bloody coffee. She's acting like Harry is her man. Yeah? She's acting like Harry is her boyfriend, and her boyfriend's friends are not respecting her. You can't be getting into people's business, trying to put your sly mean girl comment out there, right, and expect people not to respond to you. But then go to Harry and telling him, oh, you're not defending me. You said that you always have my back. Yes, I have your back. Yes, I've got you. But you can't be going over there to play with the damn bee's nest or the wasp nest and expect that the wasp them not gonna sting you. Baby girl, wake up. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm so glad the way that Harry handled that situation and said, listen, you're there chatting shit about everybody. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, people are tired of it. They're going to respond. They're going to respond. She's going to say, well, you know, don't you think about the chance last night? Like, all the stuff that, like, I'm seeing, that means I'm right because of the way the public responded. Honey, you need to let it go. Let it go. Do you know what I'm saying? Elsa, let it go. Shit. You know what I'm saying? She needs to let it go. Because at the end of the day, she's barking up the wrong tree. You know what I mean? The fact that Harry said, listen, I feel like we wanted a test. Me and Helen is fine. I feel like we wanted a test before we become exclusive. We've been talking about exclusive, all that kind of stuff. And I feel like Angel is my test. Right there and then, shame. What a disgrace. If I were you, I'd bag my face. Because at the end of the day, my man is basically saying, honey, you ain't the test. You ain't the test. So kiss, cross, applesauce, kiss my ass and get lost. Okay? I'm surprised I actually remember that from my school days. But yeah, it's like shameful. Like she's trying to involve herself. She's trying to come across more than what she is. But it's backfiring because at the end of the day, she's coming across as a nasty piece of work. A nasty piece of work. Do you know what I'm saying? They asked, you know, how was the challenge? Or how was everybody after the challenge last night? She was the one that jumped up, piped up. Talk about, oh, I just feel like, you know, I was right with a lot of things. And da-da-da, I'm not surprised. And then she's going to ask Dijon and Meg about how, you know, they feel about the comments. And Dijon is like, listen, we've already answered. We've already answered that last night. And then Meg was like, the game's over. Do you know what I'm saying? I just feel like at this point, she needs to go. She's clinging. She's reaching for sure. She's reaching. And it's no longer working. It's not going to work. It's literally not going to work. Because at the end of the day, her approach is stupid. Even like Yasmin was saying to her, it's just the way sometimes how you say things. Do you know what I mean? It's how you word things. At the end of the day, she's not going to be careful how she word things. Because Emma is there to try and be remembered. She's trying to make a name for herself. She's trying to make use of her 15 minutes of fame. That's what she's doing. You know what I'm saying? She's trying to go out there and get noticed. She's trying to get our attention. But at the end of the day, you're going about it in the wrong way, honey. The wrong way. But anyways, guys, so we see where Yasmin and Jamie came up with a plan. Because Yasmin was saying, listen, you know, the connection that Cash and Tony had was genuine. And it's a shame that they're not talking, and the fact that, you know, she feels like none of them would really make the first move. So she decided to pull Tony and like said, you know, would you be okay, open to like talk to Cash? I can pull him up to the terrace, da-da-da-da. Actually, before I go any further, let me just say this. This is the one bit that I'm proud of Harry for. When Emma came over and she was like, can we go for a chat? And he said, yeah, of course, where do you want to go? She's like, can we go terrace? And he said, no. I was just like, yes, Harry. Yes. Do you know what I'm saying? I know she felt shamed. I know she felt shamed because she wants to wind up Helena by going to the terrace. She knows what she's doing. And Harry catches on to it. He knows. And he just shut it down completely. I was proud of Harry in that moment. But then Harry got messed up with himself, flirt with the whole Angeline thing. And this is what I like with Harry. Angeline said, you want to go back over there? Him said, no, I want to stay here with you. Him always do them shit there. I see him think when him there at Casa, oh, I don't miss Helena. He does the same shit. Grow the F up. Sure. But anyways, I'm going to go back on Tony and Cash. So Yasmin brought Tony up, and then she brought Cash up. And so, because Cash came in at the right time, and Tony and him was talking, and obviously, you know, Cash is a sweetie. He's a sweetie. And you can tell that he still likes her. I think you can't just decide not to like somebody at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Just like that. He still likes her. And I think he was trying to make her feel comfortable. And, you know, they hugged, they talked, she apologized and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I feel like everybody deserves a second chance, right? But I just don't know. Because at the end of the day, in certain situations, and I do think that Cash is a good person for Tony. And I feel like in a different circumstance, right? Under different circumstances, you know, I would have been for them to be together, right? But I think at this moment where Tony is, you know, the fact that she would have chosen to be with somebody else. So she's not with Cash because she wants to be with Cash, or she's choosing to be with Cash. She's being with Cash because there's nobody there for, well, sorry, correction. The person that she wants to be with does not want to be with her and has chosen to be with somebody else. This is why I don't really want them to get together. I'm going to be completely honest, because I feel like this would be Cash settling. This will be Cash settling. They say people, you know, second chances or whatever, but I feel like Tony right now needs to go away and heal and then come back, and then before she decides to try and pursue something with Cash, because right now it's not it. And right now, you know, she's not choosing Cash. She's not choosing Cash. she's now deciding to crawl back to Cash, because she realizes that the person that she wants does not want her, and she was a fool for making the decision that she made. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, had she gone about it in a better way, the door would have been open for Cash. And to be honest, I'll be completely honest with you, I think the door is open for Cash. I think obviously his pride might want him not to, but I think for the fact that she's coming back, you know, I think he will open up and allow her, give her that second chance. But I just feel like at this moment in time, I would not say for them to get together, because, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be one-sided at this point. It's one-sided. You know what I mean? So I don't really think it's the best thing for them to do. But at the end of the day, it's their lives, not mine, and they can go ahead and live it how they want to live it. Correct? Correct. Okay, did I miss anything else? Let me check. No, I think that's all I've got. I think that's all I made a note of for tonight. But guys, yeah, Lauren was dumped, and Harrison decided to go and get his girl. So what can we do? At the end of the day, like I said, he made a big decision. I don't think anyone should have asked anyone to leave. I think that decision needs to be made. It needs to be my decision if I'm in that jungle. I'm a trash jungle. If I'm in the villa, then it must be my decision, and I don't think anyone should put pressure on that person. And I don't think it was Harrison. And I don't think that Harrison should have had to consider that, you know, with that kind of pressure onto him. Do you know what I mean? Because then it's like, if I don't go, you know, I could never pursue anything else with you. Not really, because Lauren would have taken him back, but he would have gotten a lot of stick for not going. Tony would have kept going on and on about it, because even when somebody had asked her, like, you know, is he sleeping in the bed, and she said, yeah, and I'm not going outside. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like, you know, she was still kind of like, you know, he's not going anywhere. She probably, I think a little hope in her was thinking that he probably would, you know, flip right back to her, right? And I think that Harrison just knew that he couldn't do any more flipping, to be honest. I think like he knew it was the end of the flip. So it is what it is. To be honest, he wouldn't have not win anyways, and I don't think his intention is to win at this point. I don't think he focused on winning, if I was to be completely honest with you. Otherwise he wouldn't have acted the way that he acted. So, you know, at the end of the day, I'd say follow your heart. Listen to your heart before you tell her goodbye. But yes, guys, I think he did the right decision. I think it's the most mature thing he did, along with apologizing, a sincere apology to Tony tonight. But anyways, guys, I've come to the end of my review. So if you guys have not yet thumbs up the video, what are you waiting for? Please give the video a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please subscribe, guys. I'm glad to the weekend, because guess what, my vibes, the guys also leave me. So hopefully I can rest it tonight, I'll rest it tomorrow, and I will be back on Sunday for the next review. But guys, have a lovely weekend, and I'll see y'all on Sunday. But for now, keep it sassy licious.